Hey. Hey everybody, welcome back to Kruse Control. It is Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Welcome to Kruse Control, the home of entertainment news. I am your host, Brian Kruse. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you for being here tonight. And joining me as always is my lovely co-host, Miss Sabrina Vittori. Sabrina, welcome back to the program. How are you doing tonight? And you're muted. We can't hear you.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. Thank you. How was your day?
Good. How was your Wednesday? Was it nice?
It was. It was an exceptionally good Wednesday. It went fast. I got through some easy traffic, so I am ready to go.
Sabrina works at Hawk Anamorphic in Hollywood for all your anamorphic rental needs. Check out Hawk. They are the place to be. Great people over there. And thank you for being here, Sabrina. We appreciate it as always. And also joining us back. It's been a little bit of time. But welcome back, Mr. Jake Slonecki. Welcome back to the program, Jake. How you doing tonight?
Hello, I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. How you been, man? It's been a while.
Been good. Just working, trying to stay busy. So
yeah, it's been a little slow, hasn't it?
Yes, it has, and we're trying to take full advantage of any downtime that we do have with just organization and things like that. Things that we normally don't have time to do during the day.
Yeah.
So we're dealing with a lot of that, and just hoping that things pick up soon. So
they will. There's a lot. We're going to talk about that tonight too, because we've had some conversations about what's been happening in the industry. We're going to have some more tonight. We're going to get into it a little bit, but as always, we have to start with some. What is it? Some breaking news. All right, time for some breaking news, everybody. I want to start off with the Backstreet Boys. I have all the things. Backstreet's back.
Let's not.
All right, everybody.
So breaking. Such breaking news.
So breaking. So after 13 years, everybody, they're doing 2 concerts. All right, not huge news. They're doing 2 concerts, not even in the States. They're doing them in New Delhi. Delhi? I can't even say it. New Delhi. I should probably read my notes beforehand. I got to talk to my producer somewhere. Yes, and just India in general. They're going to be for a couple performances. They're getting back together. They're doing a show. It's been a long time, so Backstreet is back, and I'm not excited about it, but maybe some of you are. And that's all it'll probably be. All right, they're back. And as they come back, something that's going away is the show Southside. Yeah, Southside from HBO Max. It started on Comedy Central. They've done 3 seasons. Started there, went a season, HBO Max picked it up, did a little bit. No 4th season coming, unfortunately. And the show was about friends who live in Chicago and their attempt to make their mark in the business world after graduating from community college. Very vague. But yeah, that's what the show was. Of course, Comedy Central had a lot of these shows that were just kind of like friends together, and this was one of them. And it went for 3 seasons, so good for them. But HBO Max has a lot of cuts lately, as we've told you over and over again. Keep cutting products, keep cutting programs, just keeps happening over and over again. So this is going away. Goodbye to Southside. And as we talked about CBS yesterday, I have one more we didn't really bring up. The official Just NCIS. My friends did this show. Awesome. Yeah, Jukebox. Yeah, it was around for 3 seasons. That's a good show. It's a good run. I mean, unfortunately, because of cutbacks, that's most likely why it's gone now. But if you've been watching the 3rd season, I hope you enjoy it, because that's it. Hopefully, have a good wrap up at the end. That's always a very necessary thing for a TV show if they can't find a new home and a new network. But we'll see. But yeah, it's going away. NCIS. So we didn't talk about this yesterday. This is one of the ones that were still lingering, but it did officially get picked up today. So NCIS is joining all those Miami and Hawaii, and I don't think Miami's anymore, but there's so many of these cop procedurals that are out there. This will be season 20 that's airing right now, and CBS says this will be the 21st season they're renewing. So 21st season, it's the 3rd longest U.S. primetime drama series, coming behind Law & Order SVU and Law & Order itself. Dung dung.
Obviously.
Yes, I mean you can't get beyond them, because they've been on forever, and they're just still like the OG longest running shows ever. I don't even know how those shows are still going, but of course they have an audience, and you can turn those on though in the background. I know that's the thing, Sabrina. I'll talk to Sabrina for a second. That's the thing that Sabrina likes. So you put it in the background, right? You can be doing laundry, cleaning the house, And then they're so episodic,
Just
right? You can kind of
sound.
pop in. Yeah. Yeah, and they're just fun. They're always like contained episodes, so that's also why I think this just keeps going, because they can write about anything, and of course they can dig in any kind of crime and do a story about it. So, and a lot of big actors started here, and they moved their way up like a soap opera kind of, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Look at Mark Harmon, 20 seasons on NCIS. That's insane. Like he is
I can't even.
loving life, I'm sure.
That's an acting career right there. That's what that is. That's your whole career.
Many
You
people
can
come
have
and go from that show, but he is like the staple.
holding on, right? Holden's true. Holden true. Uh, but with that coming back, something that's going away before it even started, is the reboot to True Blood. Suke. I watched the original True Blood, which went for 7 seasons. Yeah, that was, if you watch it, that was Bill on the show. Give me your wrist, Suke. That's my best impersonation of him. I am your maker, Jessica.
Nope.
If you watch the show, you know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so the original show was on HBO, did 7 seasons, and they decided, and it was actually Alan Ball who initially made the series itself, who also did 6 Feet Under. He's had a big reputation
and American
with
Beauty.
American Beauty. He's had a big thing with HBO though for years, and so he was going to actually spearhead this whole thing. And apparently, it just didn't happen. They've been trying to develop it since 2020. So December of 2020, they started. So they've been trying, but it's just not happening. And so, unfortunately, this is just going away. But again, we don't really need a True Blood reboot. I mean, just watch the OG one. It's good. It's funny. Suki! You'll enjoy it. That's all I can say.
Oh, my
Jake,
God.
you ever watch True Blood? I want to ask Jake this. Have you ever watched True Blood?
No,
No?
no,
You never got into it? You ever seen previews for it?
I don't think so. No.
Are you like, what the hell is he saying?
Nah. Yes.
Yeah, it's a very graphic, sex-driven vampire show that was on HBO before HBO Max, and Anna Paquin came from there. She was like the main person, and then her husband actually now played Bill, so they met on the show and they got married afterwards, and they were a couple on the show. But it's really like there's a lot of blood and guts and eating and fucking and punching and all of that, so there's a lot of stuff happening there. Yeah, it was by a cast of thousands. Remember, that's who casted at the time. But yeah, it's going away though. There's no reboot. We don't need it. Just watch the OG one. You'll like it. But with that going away, something that's coming back is The Rig. Amazon's The Rig. Thank goodness Anna Paquin was so annoying, Jukebox said. Yeah, I mean, she cried a lot. She's like, oh, Bill. Oh. But I mean, it worked. It played very well for me. I still laughed. I enjoyed it. It was more comedy. My buddy Peoples and I used to watch it when it was on. Yeah, the Rig though. The Rig is coming back. That's an Amazon series coming back for its 2nd season. I haven't even heard about this, but it's a supernatural thriller, and it began shooting again just recently, and it's going to come out later this year. And it stars Ian Glenn, who Sabrina knows from Game of Thrones. It's one Game of Thrones character Sabrina does know.
I do?
Because no, sorry, he's not the same one. I was thinking about the Funko Pop you have.
Davenport Seaworthy?
Yeah, but it's not him. I thought it was him at first. I get them mixed up all the time. But he's great on Game of Thrones, though, too. I don't know why. They're old white guys. I get them confused, apparently. But he was really good in Game of Thrones. Like, awesome.
There was too many heads on spears and family and inside family fucking going on in that show. I had to bow out gracefully. I just couldn't do it anymore. It was too much for me to handle.
Yeah, I mean, it's very graphic. It's not for everybody, and there's a lot of incest, and that's not for everybody too.
Yeah.
But that kind of happened back then because
It's a
people
lot.
wanted to
maybe
keep the
one
royal
or the other I
bloodline.
could handle, but if we're really just ramming them both down my throat, I'm gonna have to step back gracefully.
Sabrina's tapping out from that.
I did
But
watch
this
the
show-
new one though, and it was slightly less alarming, but also not so much.
And we're going to talk about that a little bit tonight too, about a season 2 for that little inside thing coming up. But this show, The Rig, it's a supernatural thriller, like I said, but it takes place on a ship, and they're enveloped by a mysterious fog, and it cuts off all their lines of communication. And then the plot thickens, and so it's like people stuck on a ship in the middle of the ocean, and all of a sudden this crazy fog. It sounds like The Mist to me.
Ghost shit happens is what we're saying, right?
Yeah, some ghost shit goes down, and once that
All
ghost
right.
shit happens, you better run, baby, run. That's all I can say.
And you said a second season, so this has already had a first season?
Yeah, the first season just started airing, and they picked it up already. Yeah.
Oh,
You're
wow.
talking
Yeah.
about 1899?
No,
Which one are
the
you talking about?
rig. The rig.
The Rig.
Have you heard of the rig? It's on Amazon.
No.
Yeah, I
No.
never heard of it
No.
either. Like I said, Ian, who's like one of the main guys, like he's from Game of Thrones. He's like the only person I really recognize looking it up. But yeah, it's coming back for a second season. So if you watch this, awesome for you. I mean, honestly, it sounds cool to me, and I like his acting style. He also played if you watch Titans, he played Bruce Wayne on Titans as well. So he's popped up quite a bit. He's been a big working actor. So, but the rig is coming back. It's good for him. Something that's not coming as soon as the rig though is Ahsoka. Now, Ahsoka is, of course, a spinoff, another Star Wars show that is on Disney Plus. Now, Ahsoka is going to be, well, they've been saying it was coming this summer, maybe. There's been up and down and all over the place. But Rosario Dawson, who plays Ahsoka, she's also been on, was she on Boba Fett? She was on Boba Fett. She was on Mandalorian. And now she is going to be having her own spinoff. Well, she was in an interview recently and she said, well, we have some final news about this. It's coming this fall. But that's all she knows. So they've been shooting, a lot of it's in the can, but the idea is it'll come out this fall, which kind of makes sense. We have Mandalorian now. They'll probably, they'll have their big blockbusters in the summer, then need something to fill the gaps in the fall. So Ahsoka will be coming then. And I bet we see some Mark Hamill in there.
What do you mean Mandalorian now? When is Mandalorian coming out?
March 1st. March 1st.
Oh, so exciting.
Yeah. Which they already have season 4 written already. So this is season 3 coming out. Season 4 is already written. So if you're wondering if there's going to be more Mandalorian, that's a big yes. So it hasn't even aired yet. And they're like, yeah, we already got the next season written. It's good to go. John Favreau's like, can't stop, won't stop.
They're 100%
it's so good.
aware that they will get picked up. Yeah, they're getting picked up. Like, why wouldn't you do your due diligence?
Yeah, that show's going to go for a while. I mean, they're going to at least do, I bet, 5 seasons, which, I bet they do at least 5. But we'll see. I mean, it's such a big hit. And honestly, if you think about it, they don't have to have Pedro there the whole time, He's just kind of pops in and does his voiceover, and they have other people in the suit. So it's like, it's easy for him to keep doing. Unless Grogu gets mad and he starts becoming a diva. I don't know if little Baby Yoda gets mad and causes problems, starts throwing fucking Cheetos on set or something. Then maybe it'll be canceled, but you never know. Give me my crafty!
Like eggs or like macaroons or something weird.
Yeah, flying them at the crafty people, hit them in the face with some eggs. I don't know, but there he is.
He's got an egg.
Give it. Give it.
Give it.
Give it.
Give it, Baby Yoda. Give it all day.
I said no.
But with that coming back, or with that
I'm cool
delayed,
with as
I
much
should say.
Mandalorian as we can get, as long as they don't overdo it. If it starts getting where it's like, okay, now you're grasping at straws, just don't ruin it. It's great, just don't ruin it.
Yeah, and this new season looks really good. It does. Have you seen the trailer for it, Jake? Yeah, it looks so good.
I like how it's kind of centered around penance for him taking off his helmet. So like, I'm sure Pedro Pascal is not thrilled about that because we all know he doesn't want to wear the helmet. But like, I think it's funny that they're like centering the season around him doing his penance so that he can still be a Mandalorian, even though he's taken off his helmet in the good fight of protecting his youngling. So I'm very interested to see where that goes. And if it's centered around the fact that he's a little bitch about taking off his helmet, or if it's just the way the story has turned. I'm very interested.
I don't know. And the fact that he's going back to Mandalore is going to be really cool, too. We're actually going to see that planet. That'll be fun.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Love that.
I just think about how much fun it must be to shoot that show. For me, I would have been in that suit every day because I would have been like, this is awesome. I'm actually like in a Star Wars product and I'm like flying through space and I'm going to these crazy worlds. I mean, I think regardless of the problems it would be wearing the suit, and maybe it's difficult in a way, I think it'd be fun. It'd really help you get into the character if you ask me. So I think about Bane.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I think about Tom Hardy. Tom Hardy on The Dark Knight Rises. He had his mask was like, it was like 10 pieces and they had to screw it on and shit. So I remember when we were working on it, they had to they took it off one time and no one was like, why the hell did you take that off? Because it took so long and they had to wait for them to reassemble the mask so they could shoot. There's but it was like a pain in the ass, to have that on the whole time. So it makes sense that they'd have to give the actor a break once in a while, but that makes it difficult. But it's part of the joy in being an actor, though, if you ask me.
100%.
But with that, too, I want to talk about something that is coming forward, and that is another docu-series for Netflix about football. Now you're saying, well, what's this one about? Well, this one, it's the first time that the NFL and Netflix are working together. What we talked about you know, I always want to say Mark Madden, the John Madden series. But this is different. This is going to follow three quarterbacks. It's going to follow Kirk Cousins of the Minnesota Vikings, Marcus Mariota of the Atlanta Falcons, and
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, of the Kansas City Chiefs. It's going to follow them. It's supposed to be an inside look into their lives like you've never seen before. It premieres this summer. And Netflix said we aim to give our members an unprecedented access to the biggest athletes in the world, telling stories you can't see anywhere else. So this is moving forward, which I think could be fun. I mean, honestly, like following these professionals in a way you've never seen them before could be fun. And Netflix is doing something different, and it might lead to more projects. Now, I know I talked to Sabrina about this earlier today, and she had a point that she was surprised that they didn't use a different quarterback. Who was that, Sabrina?
Jalen Hurts from the Philadelphia Eagles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that would have made sense, right? Like, especially after the
I
Super
would
Bowl.
think so. He was, I mean, he was just behind Patrick Mahomes in, league MVP, and obviously showed that he went to the Super Bowl. Mahomes threw for 3 touchdowns, and Jalen Hurts ran in 3 touchdowns. I mean, like, that's a lot.
Yeah.
So he's a spectacular young quarterback, as is Mahomes. I mean, they're both amazing. I'm not saying one's better than the other. I'm just saying, like, I'm just surprised that they wouldn't capitalize on the whole Super Bowl situation and and go after him too. Maybe he didn't want to. I don't know. Like, it could be they tried to go that route and it didn't work out. But I just think that it would be, especially because they went against each other in the Super Bowl. Maybe that's why they didn't. Maybe it was too much. Like, they didn't want to have some sort of a weird outside confliction as opposed to being on the field. But I think it would have been, they're two very dynamic, very skilled, and very personable quarterbacks. I think it would have been very interesting to see both of them in that same light.
Yeah, I think they might have missed out on something that could have been great. But then again, like, who knows when they started shooting this too? They didn't really know who was going to be in the Super Bowl, like where their careers were going.
Well, they knew Jalen Hurts was a badass quarterback. I will tell you that much.
They did.
Yeah.
They did.
And the Eagles were playing amazing all season, so
kicking ass and taking names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's a missed opportunity for them. I think it is. But maybe for the next season, if there is a next season. Right now, it's only one. And then I guess we'll see how it does. And as we talked about yesterday, as Netflix has had some cuts, hence the Gorilla movie got cut. Gorillas movie got cut. So you never know. It might be something like that where there's being a little bit, on the, they're holding back a little bit from just like picking up multiple seasons, especially because Netflix's stock has had issues up and down. They keep blaming it on the people that are sharing passwords, which I'd say, I wish I had a bullshit button. I need to make a bullshit button, on the show. Or there's this bullshit, something like that would be fun.
A little audio boom. I like
a little
it.
audio clip says bullshit, that'd be fun. But I call bullshit. Anyways, with that happening, something that's not happening is the new LL Cool J album. Now, he's been apparently talking about this forever. He's been tweeting, it's coming, it's the best thing ever. Last thing he said is like, I think it's really, really special. I think it's something that's modern without chasing its whole new thing. I can't wait for people to see it and hear it. Well, now he's saying, I'm not releasing it anytime soon. It's not ready. It's not even close to being ready. He says he's not feeling like the album is even worthy of being released, even though he just tweeted something the other day saying it's coming and then took it right down. And his last album was Authentic back in 2013. But then again, LL Cool J really is becoming more of an actor, I would say, than a musician at this point, or a rapper. I really haven't, 2013's been a long time to think about him being on air acting actually more. So it just doesn't seem like a focus for him anymore. So honestly, I'm like, whatever, man. I don't think people are going crazy, like, I want my LL Cool J. Give it to me,
Ty, one of my very, very best friends, Ty, LL Cool J is in his top 5 favorite rappers. And he is very well versed on music in general. Hip hop, rap, everything, pop. He's like, if you ask him, like, what is the most important thing to him in the world? I'm sure he would say family first, because who doesn't do a Dominic Toretto? But then it would probably be music. Like, he knows more about music than anyone I know. And he said that, I can't say that I agree with him, and we did have words about it. I don't mean fighting words, but words. Because I was like, LL Cool J? Like, really? Like, tonguing me down with vanilla ice cream? LL Cool J? Is that where we're going with this? And he maintains that he's one of his top 5 favorite rappers. So I, since then, have vowed to give him another comb through, and I haven't yet. So unfortunately, I wish I would have before this episode, but I do respect Ty's opinion a lot, and he, probably has a lot of like maybe his like radio popular music is not as great as the other shit. You know what I mean? Like, because that's really all I
Could
know
be.
of him. I've never bought one of his albums or whatever. So I'm willing to say that maybe there's more than meets the eye with LL Cool J in the rap game.
Yeah. Jake, are you a big fan of LL Cool J? Are you excited to see him come out with a new album, or are you like, whatever?
It's whatever. Like you said, he's more of an actor anymore than anything, So and I listen to music like I don't know how many different genres of music I listen to, and it's not really about the genre for me. It doesn't have to be rap. It doesn't have to be rock. It's more about what it makes you feel like. So I have like my top 5 feelings that music gives me, and I look for those whenever I'm listening. It doesn't have to be a specific thing. So I'm not bound to it has to be Eminem or.
But if someone said to you, you have who are your top 5 favorite rappers, you would have top 5 favorite rappers, right?
I don't think I would. No.
Really?
No.
Huh.
I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, I don't.
If I really had to
that.
think about it, if I really sat down and like had to think about it, maybe. Yeah, it's possible. So.
LL at the Wu-Tang show. Oh, that must have been good. Hopefully that was a great performance.
We saw LL at the Wu-Tang show. However, by we, you don't mean we,
Method
me, and
and
you.
Redman were there too?
We, not the one I went to. This is the one she went to without me, which makes me really sad. Because if I would have seen Method Man, Redman, and LL Cool J, I would have been writing home about it. Okay. However, the Wu-Tang show that we did go to was fucking epic, and it was amazing. And I was actually really, 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 really sad that Method Man did not show up. He was my number one guest I wanted, but I know that she had gone to another show.
He's a great person. I
was not there. There was no Method Man, Redman, or LL Cool J. I promise you. You went to like 9 Wu-Tang shows. We cannot have this argument. Like, write it down. Show me the receipts, girl.
And Method Man is so awesome. Like, I know Sabrina's worked with him before. I've worked with him before.
Oh my God, he's so cool.
Yeah, he's so cool. Like, he would call his stand-in Little Meth.
Nice.
Like, Little Meth, what's up? And
I need the receipts.
But he'd be cracking
I wasn't
jokes.
that intoxicated.
He's just a great human being. He just is. So I would love to see him.
I smoked so much weed with Method Man on Soul Plane. It is insane. But Snoop Dogg was there. I smoked with Snoop Dogg and Method Man outside, like in San Fernando, outside of a stage door. And I had like just moved here. I was like, this is the coolest day of my life. I'm like the coolest person on the planet. Like, I literally texted anyone who would listen. I was like, by the way, I just smoked a blunt with LL Cool J, Jesus, Sabrina, Method Man, and Redman. No, Method Man and Snoop Dogg. Oh my God. Wow. I need a
and Snoop Dogg.
Reality check. I'm worried about these receipts that I'm supposed to be getting from. She just sent me a video. I'm going to lose it right now. I can't check it though right now. Okay. Stay tuned. If I am wrong tomorrow, I will give you an apology. But I know I'm not wrong. So we'll see. But Method Man is super awesome.
Fair.
He was like working at Paramount one time, and I remember like his dressing room just had smoke just rolling out of it, and like the whole hallway and stuff. There's like this little dressing room area on stage. Was it 26, right? On stage 26, it was like the whole thing is just full.
Oh yeah, because he was on Real House Husbands.
Yeah, he was next door. So, Snoop, he's a good guy. It's funny. Okay, something else I want to talk about very briefly, but I want to talk about Venom 3, just a quick update on Venom 3. So Venom 3 is apparently moving forward into production now, pre-production, and Tom Hardy put a little video out, and he was showcasing a little bit of them rehearsing and kind of going through some steps. Really funny video. I'll put a link to it after the fact in this video. You'll be able to check it out. But he's like getting out of a car, and then he's fighting, trying to get out of the car and trying to open the car door and close it. And you hear the Venom voice, and he's fighting and he's dancing. He's like moonwalking and stuff. Of course, it's just hilarious physical comedy he does as he plays himself and he plays Venom.
Very impressive.
And It's very impressive, I still think. And the thing is, where he does it, he has on set, if anybody doesn't know, he actually records it in the morning because he does the dialogue for Venom 2. So he records in the morning, sound puts through some stuff, and then they give him an earwig, and then they actually feed the lines to him as he's acting. So he actually hears Venom in real time acting with him, which is a cool thing to do when you're an action actor to get, because sometimes work on set, you have, either a script supervisor or a stand-in or somebody else can be reading the dialogue with you, but he actually gets the actual audio they're going to use and then uses it for motivation, which is cool. You don't always get that. So that's pretty awesome that he does that, and he actually does that early. And if you watch this video, it's hilarious. I'm just like, it made me excited about it. I'm like, yeah, Venom 3, I'm all down for this. Jake, are you excited for Venom 3 at all, or are you kind of like, whatever?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a surprising answer.
Tom Hardy's great, man.
Yeah, I haven't watched any of. I'll put it this way: I'm excited to catch up with you guys on all that stuff. So, I have
it's some fun stuff.
A running list of must watch that I have not watched yet. So,
have you watched even one single one?
No.
Uh-oh, calling him out. Calling him out.
No.
I've been trying to get him to watch the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man for so long.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Yeah.
That's a lot of fun too. I mean, that's actually like really fun, wholesome kind of show too. Of course, the lizard's could be a little scary, but I think Charlie would be fine with it. So if you want to watch it with Charlie too.
Venom? No, Venom is terrifying.
No, not Venom. I'm talking about the Amazing Spider-Man.
Okay. Do not
Spider-Man?
watch Venom.
Venom's a bit rough.
A lot. It's a lot.
Sure.
Don't do it.
Venom's a bit rough. He's biting people's heads off and stuff. So it's PG-13, but it's a hard PG-13, They just do bare minimum. They don't show the blood as much, know. So that's how they get away with it. But he's killing people. He'd be killing bitches,
Yeah.
So
well, she's at that stage now where if things aren't in the right order, it freaks her out. So like we could be watching something as, just like Dr. Pole. If there's a cat that's got a toe out of place, like it's not normal, so it kind of freaks her out a little bit. Like why is it like that? So I don't think the biting of heads is such a great move.
Yeah, probably not good.
Not yet. Not yet.
When you do ever get a chance to watch it, the second one, Woody Harrelson plays Carnage. Does an awesome job. But yeah, they're definitely not for kids. I would say so. Any of them aren't, even though they're PG-13. Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a killer symbiote or symbiote, as they say on this. The symbiote. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's how they say it in the movies. I always say symbiote, but whatever. But yeah, so Venom's coming back.
I was gonna say my problem is too, like I can't just pick up something that's new and watch it. I have to go back to the beginning so I know the whole story.
Yeah, the progression.
So I'm a little bit manic about it like that. Like I can't just check out the newest thing and then go back. I have to start at the beginning and watch it all the way. So.
Well, I mean, that's why. The thing about these are the three Venom. Well, the third one's coming out, but the Venom movies kind of stand alone on their own. They don't really bleed into the Marvel stuff a little bit. There's like a tiny bit that they did, but it didn't really affect anything. It was one of those things where the fans got super excited about it, and then Marvel just pissed and shit on them. They're like, we're not doing that. It was. It just they brought Tom Hardy into the Marvel universe for just a minute. They did all the blip thing when the blip happened and everything. Well, he came into the Marvel universe and he sees Tom Hardy Spider-Man on the TV screen, and then they're like, oh, he's in that universe now. And then we watch Spider-Man Far From Home, and this is not even spoiler. It's whatever. The post-credit scene, you see, we're waiting for Venom. I'm like, is Venom going to appear? Because he's there. We know he's in that universe. And the post-credit scene, he's at a bar drunk. And then they send him back to the other universe. So he doesn't. All he does is leave a little piece of the symbiote behind, which is a way of making Venom in the Marvel universe. So that's what it is now. Venom could affect Tom Hardy. It could be in there, but they never interact. They never meet each other. It doesn't bleed into the story at all. So I thought it was a missed opportunity. But then again, they're trying to keep those separate for some reason still. But there might be some reasoning behind it. We might find out down the line. Who knows?
Yeah. Maybe they couldn't agree on how to do it yet.
Yeah, and that could be what it is too.
Yeah, instead of just hashing it together, they're like, let's just table it and figure it out later.
Yeah, we'll find a way maybe down the line.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, then Venom 3 is coming, everybody. What do you think about it? I mean, we'll see. Something else that's coming back is House of the Dragon, of course, is coming back. So House of the Dragon, we finally got an update because people are wondering, it did so well on HBO Max. When's it coming out? Is it coming soon? Is it not coming soon? Well, it's not going to come until the summer of 2024. That's the earliest. That's what they're saying over there. The CEO, Casey Bloys, says that. He says, not anytime soon. They're just going into production. So it's going to be a minute, everybody, if you're like excited about the new House of Dragon series, like you're gonna have to wait a little bit because these things take forever to shoot with all the locations, multiple crew, the cast, the big, scenes they shoot, these big battle scenes and the CGI and all that. It takes a long time for it to actually come together. So you're gonna have to wait a little bit to get to this. I'm still excited about this. Last season was a lot of fun. I mean, honestly, Matt Smith, for how much I go back and forth about his acting, I think he does a phenomenal job in this. And of course, there's incest. We just talked about Game of Thrones before. There's always incest. So he's having sex with his niece in this. So that's a whole thing. And and then they get married and they have kids. So that's a whole thing.
Wow.
Yeah, that's Game of Thrones though. Jake, you never seen Game of Thrones, right? You never watched Game of Thrones, have you?
Yeah, I watched all of it. Yeah.
Oh, you did watch all of it. Oh, good.
Game
There
of
we
Thrones,
go.
for sure. Yeah.
Did you watch House of Dragon yet or no?
Not yet. No.
Okay. But because Game of Thrones, there's a lot of that, right? There's a lot of brutality, a lot of incest, and a lot of like really good drama, honestly, and some good storytelling. But overall, it's a little shocking and jarring at first if you're just getting into it.
Yeah, and the first, it's very shocking because the writer of those stories just did not care who the person was. Like, they're dead. When they're dead, they're dead. So
that's it.
Like you said, the amount of brutality behind it, I think it was it was like the violent end that Lord of the Rings didn't give you,
Oh, yeah.
Like just like a super brutal, cool world, like Lord of the Rings or any of those kinds of things. And
big fantasy adventure kind of world where you don't get to see the real life like aggression that happens back then or did happen at that time, And
then in comparison, it's like, go ahead.
No, you're good. Get in there.
Oh, I was gonna say, like the Witcher, for me. I don't know if you watched The Witcher at all. That series.
I started watching season 1. I haven't gotten it done yet, but I finally started watching it. So the little bit I've seen, I do like.
Don't stop watching that one.
And okay.
I'll watch Spider-Man.
Okay. We'll see who wins. Who watches it first?
All right. That sounds good. Well, okay.
Is that a challenge accepted?
Challenge accepted. If you can finish both seasons of The Witcher, and Blood Origin just came out too, so you got 3 that you can at least start on. But
it's so sad that Henry left that show now. So
yeah.
But
the direction they're going, it kind of shows. I'll let you catch up on it.
Yeah. He didn't seem like he was too happy with it. He was going to do Superman, so that made sense for him. That all fell through, but he finds a new home. That's how it goes. Sabrina, what do you think about the House of the Dragon? I know you watched a little bit of it. I know it's coming back now until 2024. Are you in it? Are you excited at all? I know you haven't finished it yet. I know you've seen a lot of it when I was watching it. So, are you have any kind of initial feelings about hearing that it's coming out next summer?
No, I did finish it. I just didn't really start it. Like I started watching it. Like I started watching it kind of, I don't know, midway through. And there were a lot of things that annoyed me as per usual. But I did like some stuff. I really liked the young version of the niece that was being fucked by her uncle. Not really sure. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm talking about. The young version of the blonde being incesticized.
Rhaenyra.
Yep. Rhaenyra. Something like that. What made me so super uncomfortable is like he was like doing some jousting shit as her uncle, and she's like giving him a favor, and there was like a weird sexual tension. He's like 12, like it was very off-putting, and I don't appreciate it. But other than that, I was fairly drawn in by the story. I was super not thrilled with the original king, who wound up getting ill, like choosing. I don't want to spoil it for Jake, but Yeah, he made a weird choice that upset me, and that ended in, a karmic fuck you for him. There was a lot of things that I was like, ugh. But I mean, I get it. I got it more. It was less off-putting to me than the original Game of Thrones. And I know, like my mother watched and loved the original Game of Thrones. So I obviously didn't give it long enough. But like, I mean, I just don't want to see a brother touching a sister's tit more than once in 3 hours of television. Like, I think once is enough. It was just too much for me. In this version,
says it all. Jake's face says it all.
Slightly less. I have a brother, so it's creepy. Like what I think. I'm like, oh my god, what if that was TJ touching my tit? Like, fuck, are you fucking kidding? Like, it's just not cool. In this, it was for some reason slightly less off-putting, maybe because I was prepared for it. Or maybe because it's not as much. It's not as shoved down your throat as it was originally. It wasn't like everyone was fucking a sibling or an uncle or a cousin or something weird. So I don't know. I would definitely watch another season of it. I think the acting was spectacular. Like, there was a lot of really, really good acting. There was good tension. There was good, kind of storylines. You had people that you were rooting for. Like, I would probably give it a go. I'm definitely not going to go back and watch the few episodes I missed. I may dabble in the original Game of Thrones again. I don't know, but I'll give this a go for sure.
Yeah, well, the thing too is like the early episodes. Like, honestly, there's a lot of. It starts off with very early on, and they have these time jumps. There's a lot of time jumps in House of the Dragon. So if you're watching it, it's like they have different. I think there's like, is there 2 actors that play?
It goes like back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah, but then once it jumps to the future, then it stays towards the end. But there's like some time jumps. So that's the initial stuff. It's just, backstory, setting things up, letting you introduce these characters. And then what you saw where Sabrina started, remember, was like kind of in the mix of everything, where it really was getting into the story.
It was right around when the uncle fucking started, is when I tuned in.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt Smith did a great job though in there. I think like he had staying power.
And I was like, please exit the screen. I hate you. He was so gross and such a douchebag.
Yeah.
But
he's a Targaryen.
What they wanted him to be.
And it's all about the Targaryens. And the Targaryens were, they're pretty well known to be like, it's all about bloodline and power. And it's all because we have dragons, And that was the big thing they were pushing forward.
Was that angry? It was Angry Elf a Targaryen?
Yes, he was. Yes, Angry Elf. Okay. Peter Dinklage, everybody.
He was Angry Elf and Elf, not Elf. Elf, yeah. Elf. He was Angry Elf. Ooh,
yeah.
You're an
He's an Angry Elf. He's an Angry Elf. Remember that, Jake? Peter Dinklage. And Elf, Elf goes, he's in the boardroom.
And like jumped on him.
Yeah, and Miles, what was his character's name? Miles something. But Miles Finch. They get Miles Finch to tell us to pitch this whole story, and they finally have Miles Finch there. And then Elf busting, he's like, I'm in love, I don't care. And he's like, oh, you have an elf. He's like, hey buddy, calm down. He's an angry elf. No, say one word.
Call me
one
elf
more time.
One more time.
And then he's like, he's an angry elf. And then Peter Dinklage runs across the table and like drop kicks him. It's awesome.
Yep. And I'll
have to watch again.
And then beats the shit out of him.
Seriously, dude, Elf is like the best movie ever. You need to
watch it. You haven't seen Elf?
Every Christmas, you should watch it. He's seen it once, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it once. Yeah.
You got to watch it again.
At least
you got to watch it again.
Every Christmas, you need to watch it.
Yeah.
Well, you got to check that out, Jake.
My favorite part is when he's chugging the soda and he belches extremely loud. Like, it's like
he just slams the whole thing.
But the best part is when he asks, "Did you hear that?" Like, no,
And the kid's like, I don't know. You're weird.
Yeah,
right. You're weird.
It's the funniest thing ever. I don't know why it makes me laugh. It makes me laugh really loud, really hard.
It's such a great movie.
Has me laughing. I told Brian there's a rule in my house that I am not watching a Christmas movie on Thanksgiving or until December. And on Thanksgiving, I'm cooking, of course, Thanksgiving dinner, and he casually puts on Elf behind me. And I'm like, that is a fucking low blow, bro, because I will not turn Elf off. I won't do it. So he slid it in and then parlayed it into another Christmas movie that I watched.
What about Die Hard?
What was that?
Yeah, Die Hard's great too.
Die Hard I love. I'll watch that any time of year.
Yeah. I think it was like Fred Claus, which is not
Fred
even the
Claus,
best.
which I'd never seen. And I was like, wait, you have to rewind that. I didn't see that part. And he's like, oh, I thought watching Christmas movies.
Oh, Bad Santa's great too.
Thurman Merman?
Thurman.
Were you dropped on your head when you were a kid? My head? It's the best thing ever.
Sounds like Tommy Boy. Did you know how to paint chips as a kid? Why?
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
Anyways,
got into like a quoting match.
House of the Dragon, everybody. House of the Dragon is coming summer of
Targaryens
2024. The Targaryens will rule again. Yes.
What?
Well, the Targaryens will be more dragons and more fire coming the summer of 2024.
The dragons are
And also,
cool.
I want to talk about somebody else that's been fired up in the news a lot lately, and that's Harry and Meghan. And, I don't like to talk about them all the time, but when there's something that's like this, I need to talk about it. So, Harry and Meghan have been on TV again, but not the way you think they would be on TV. Nope. South Park decided to finally touch on the Harry and Meghan situation. So they had this whole episode just came out, and it's about Harry and Meghan. They don't call him Harry and Meghan. They say the prince and his wife. That's what they say in the show.
Canadian prince.
The Canadian prince. Yeah, so he's Canadian. So his head's bobbing like he's Canadian and all that. And they're on their privacy world tour. Their privacy world tour, going around the world being like, we need our privacy, man. We need our privacy. Give us our privacy, So they're going around doing that. and they move across the street from Kyle. No, from Stan, right? Move across the street
Kyle.
from...
It
is Kyle. Yeah, it is Kyle. And they keep asking Kyle for their privacy, and like he's playing drums in the front yard, and Kyle's like, what? You're just playing drums? Like, give me my privacy, son. Give me my... Come on, man. Come on, friend. But so the whole thing was centered around a red-headed character and his wife who relocate to South Park, Colorado. The Prince of Canada is seen promoting his book to the world. And actually, his book is called like blah blah or something like that. Wah blah blah.
Wow wow.
Wow wow. It's called Wow Wow. That's what it was. It was called Wow Wow. But so anyways, people were saying that they were going to sue South Park. That was the thing. Like they're saying they're going to sue them because of the show. And then Harry and Meghan came forward and said, we're not going to sue South Park. They say that now. We'll see. I don't know if they've watched that episode because they really rip into them. It's pretty great. It's pretty great. It's classic South Park style. They are not holding any punches. They go, like I said, they go around the country and they're flying to private jets to different countries and be like, we need our privacy. We need our privacy. Privacy? Yes, wife. Let's get our privacy.
With little like sticks with signs on them, like privacy please and stay away. And like they're like running through the streets of Paris and like, like they show the plane like going everywhere and they just like do a little walk.
That's so
Yeah,
good.
It's hilarious. I can't.
Yeah. But
It's
I just
so
laughed.
funny.
It's so funny, but it's typical
But they were
South
in
Park
Canada
fashion.
on a talk show, and the talk show host in Canada was like, "Well, I think some people might say that your Instagram loving bitch wife doesn't really want her privacy," and he was like, "What? Huh? How dare you say that about my Instagram loving bitch wife? She does want her privacy." And then they like decided to move to South Park to get out of Canada, like the same way that they moved out of England. It really was very clever and very funny.
Yeah, it was
Awesome.
It was great, but without giving out the ending, because South Park episodes are so short. That's pretty much the premise. They get to South Park, and then Kyle has to deal with them. And even the way this episode started, it was with like the Queen's death, and I was like,
oh, brutal! That was brutal.
The way they showed the Queen like dead in the coffin was like, oh, South Park just not caring. Yeah, literally like that with like X's on her eyes and shit.
Not good.
And then
That I
like
didn't care
Ike
for.
is watching it. His little brother Ike's watching, of course, because he's Canadian, so they want to tie
Crying
that
the
in,
whole
and he's
time.
crying and stuff. But yeah, it's quite the episode. They do not hold any punches. Like wow, like I said, the book.
That's awesome.
Jake, is this something you'll watch? Are you excited about this? Does it make you laugh? And do you think they'd actually sue South Park over this?
I don't think they can sue them.
Yeah,
I think it's great. Well, you know how there's like Facebook official, right?
yeah.
And then there's like a certain level of douchebaggery that you have to reach in order to be on South Park and to be made fun of. And they exceeded
Fish sticks,
it
man.
by far.
Fish sticks.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna watch South Park for the first time in 15 years, I think.
Dude,
To check this out because the last South Park I watched was the one with Mickey Mouse when he's like the giant.
shit. Yeah, he's boys. The
Yeah.
purity rings and the Jonas Brothers, that stuff.
Yes,
Is that
that's
you're
the
talking about?
last one I watched.
Where are your
That's
rings,
the last
boys?
one I
Huh?
watched. Yeah.
Yeah, that shit was.
So-
He's flying in the Millennium Falcon. That shit was intense. That was funny.
Mhm.
Mickey Mouse
Yeah.
is like beating the Jonas Brothers' asses. That
Yeah,
was-
he was so mad. He was so mad.
Honestly, the pandemic stuff I actually enjoyed a lot. It's a lot of fun just because it shows them grown up And because they make fun of how COVID's lasted so long, and so now they're old men and they're still dealing with the pandemic, and it gets to see like how they grow up and how they become, which is kind of fun. And then they go backwards in time again, but they have a whole thing where they show their grown-up versions, which is fun. But South Park that's the thing about them. They're always like what we do here on the show. It's all about like current events. And they write them on the seat of their pants. Like they're writing these episodes right before they air. They're finishing them right before they air. So there's no like we build episodes up and air them like a typical TV show. No, it's all like right before. It's insane how much time they put in and they pump these episodes out, and then they're so good. So and then sometimes they aren't, of course, but they've been a lot of fun, especially recently. And this was a good one. Like honestly, it's a good return to form, like a Paris Hilton one where they made fun of her, or they made fun of Sookie with her Sookie, where she was like that little creature. From
That's right.
Remember that shit?
Yes, I do.
It's like a return to that for them. So I laughed a lot when I saw them. I'm like, all right, good on you, South Park, especially because they're like, with all their big problems, because all their money and their millions and their problems, So it was funny. Sabrina, you love this, right? Yeah, you don't think that they can actually sue South Park over this, can you?
I mean, I'm sure they could if they wanted to. I don't think that they would win. However, I feel like it's very on brand for them to be like, I'm going to sue South Park. Like, I feel like I wouldn't be fucking surprised one bit. Although the publicist was like, oh my God, this is just fake news media. Like, they would never do that. Bitch, please. They would never fucking do that. Seriously, is that what we're going with? Because it's bullshit.
Really is.
But it is also 100% obviously Harry and Meghan. Like there is no like if, ands, or buts about it. They are depicting Harry and Meghan. So I mean, I'm sure they would have like an ish case, but like not enough. Like I mean, I don't know that they would waste their poker chips on suing South Park. I think they would wait for a bigger fish to fry, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I think so too. I can't imagine they would. But then again, if they run out of money, you never know. They need money.
They're not going to run out of money, dude. They have like so many deals for doing nothing. They just breathe and get paid. Like she did a podcast where she got paid $1 million an episode to literally do nothing. The producer would interview the people and then she would come in and do her side when she fucking felt like it. Like talk about a lazy motherfucker. Like please, I'm sorry. She is one of the most like.
Give it to her, Sabrina. What do you think about her? What do you think about her?
I really don't care for her. I don't care for her. As a person, I feel like she's playing the fucking victim and like, woe is fucking me. Oh, I'm sorry I married royalty. I'm sorry that I was a B actress in a shit show on USA for 5 minutes. Like, I just need to be quiet. And, oh my God, they followed us. Like, just stop. Just fucking stop. Okay? You love attention. No one who wants to be an actor doesn't love attention. Now, I'm not saying you want a helicopter of paparazzi over your fucking house because that's quite annoying, I'm sure. Like, not that I know personally, because obviously I don't. But like, she obviously went into a field where she could be looked at and appreciated and fucking ogled, and then she gets mad that she was like a sex symbol as a briefcase girl. It's like, bitch, you took the job to be half naked and hold a fucking briefcase. Like
it's very true.
Is what you're supposed to just look pretty. That's what your job is, to look pretty. And you did a great job. You looked pretty holding the briefcase. Sometimes they picked your number and you got to walk it over to somebody. Congratulations. Like, just stop. You know, like it's too much. And for her to pretend like she didn't know anything about the royal family and didn't know anything about Harry and didn't know anything, like I feel like her bullshit knows no bounds. You know what I'm saying?
It's like Amber
and
Heard.
she like, oh God, oh my God. I mean, that
like
Amber
besties.
Heard's are they really?
Well, they should be. It sounds like.
Oh my God. I was
same
like,
person.
no, that is like, that took the wind out of me, out of my lungs. I was like, what? Because Amber Heard is there's
Case
a special
solved.
place. Dude, there's a special
Best
place in hell for
friends.
that bitch.
Yeah.
I will say
They have a new show, Best Friends for
Like,
Life. Let's do it.
I don't think Megan is.
Oh, dude, you
like,
would sell
Meghan,
so much.
I don't care for Megan.
We'll call it the bitches are back.
In that category.
Oh,
my
Lord.
God, I hate you both so much.
The bitches are back.
Really?
Cue intro theme.
Let's do it. We're gonna do it.
Anyways, this was just fun news that came out in the news.
I'm glad they're not friends. Jesus fucking Christ. I was like, oh God, no. We have so much more to come.
I know, right? Can you imagine? I can't. But also, I want to move on because we're getting close to the end of our night, and there's a couple things I still want to talk about. So the first one I'm just going to touch on, and then we're getting to our featured story. So I just want to talk about the WGA very quickly. So the WGA is now going to officially start their contract negotiations. Now, what are you saying? How's this going down? Well, on March 20th is when they're beginning their negotiations with the producers to try to figure out if they can work out all of their contracts and not have a strike. Well, I'm not too sure this is going to happen. We said this before. Their contract actually ends May 1st. It's not that long away. Not that long at all. And the WGA is currently saying that, and you've probably been hearing a lot of rumors and claims about the upcoming negotiations in the press, but they want to remind us that whoever claims they're being put out there, they're not real. The guild will do their decisions. They'll have to decide all together as a unit, and it's not what they're saying. But I mean, honestly, it is what they're saying. They're saying they need more money for residuals. They're saying the streaming stuff is a problem. They're saying they will strike if they have to, and they have before. So why is there less products right now? Why are there less products out there right now? Why are there less shows shooting? Why are there less auditions? Because people are scared. People are scared there's a strike coming. And if they strike, if the DGA strikes, like we said before, bam, Hollywood shut down again. Shut down. And Jake, as an agent, or as a manager, I should say, you've probably seen less and less auditions, right? Do you think this is actually part of this? People are scared, that they're afraid that they will have studios sitting vacant because there'll be a potential strike?
Yeah, and it's been a trickle, right? And I think it goes day to day. Some days are better than others, and I've been seeing some pilots come in, so there's some pilot stuff that's coming through. But anything that's
reassuring.
Yeah, so there's stuff happening, but it feels like the whole thing is set up to where it could just stop at any moment, So
yeah, just done, shut down.
On our end, we're preparing for, okay, so let's assume that TV and film goes away. What are we going to do for our clients? Okay, that doesn't happen. What if commercial goes away? Then there's, okay, so theater, maybe we can still do theater. Does anybody want to do theater? So we're kind of building out these contingency plans based on what could potentially happen. So film might be okay because you don't need the writers so much if it's written already. You could get an independent director to kind of help you out if you needed to. If you really wanted to push something through, there's a way to do it. And if the script is already written and doesn't require any changes. So it's going to be touch and go, but from a producer's side, standpoint, if you want to put your money into something, you want to make sure that it's going to make your return on investment is going to be good, right? So, with all that up in the air, I would, if I was going to write a check for $20 million to help out on a show to be part of a production team, I would probably be very hesitant if I did not know for sure 100% that I was going to get that return within a certain amount of time. So to just throw it out there and hope for the best, none of them are going to do that. That's never going to happen.
Oh yeah, not going to happen.
Until this is, written, done, everybody signed, dotted, things are good. I think once it's over, and then we'll see a huge tsunami of stuff because it's all just kind of pent up and waiting. So,
yeah, that's the thing though. It's like we don't know. We really don't know a lot of this, but people are scared. People are super scared about it, and they're not sure they're going to have a job. And if you don't know, the thing is they rent out these studios, and if they already signed a contract to have them for a certain amount of month, the studios will be like, give us your money, They don't want their money. Try getting out of that, oh, there's a strike. Sorry for your loss, whatever, We want our money. Show me the money. So that's the problem. And if people are scared, they're not going to start productions. They're not going to start a new show. They're not going to start new seasons. They're just going to hold off until they have an opportunity to actually shoot. And they know there's actually guaranteed, time that they have these writers and these directors. And even if, Jake, like the writers thing happens and the directors thing doesn't, I mean, it's still going to shut down. But this directors thing is just another ace in their pocket to be like, then there's literally nobody, What do you think about this,
I bet you
Sabrina?
that's why they already wrote Mandalorian season 4.
Probably. Yeah. Maybe they did. Or just kick it right off.
Yeah.
So that's a problem if you're an actor there might be less jobs for you. There's probably less opportunity right now. So if you're actually been getting like less auditions and less calls from your agent or your manager, this is why. This is one of the big reasons why. Don't be like, what are they doing for me? If you call them up.
I've been so sad.
We've been searching and searching and searching, and we're, my direct upline is we've been pitching on as much as we can in between just to hope that we hook onto something. Right. So
of course.
Yeah.
It's we're doing what we can. I don't know if you guys saw, we started that new chat group to keep everybody connected, and
which is
I
great.
joined today.
But I saw that, yeah.
So she beat me.
There's
he was like, I'm gonna call Jake, and I was like, I'm gonna join WhatsApp.
Do it. Yeah. But there's a place for everybody to kind of bounce ideas around, and what are you working on, and stay fresh and practice. And we've got a couple more like ideas out, just to keep people busy, and I'll let you guys know about that later. But yeah,
for sure.
Cool. Can't wait to hear about it.
Yeah.
But I also want to tie this into one more thing. We're not going to talk about our featured story long, but I want you to know that there might be something on the horizon that could actually lead to more jobs, though, for us here in the States. And with that, I want to talk about our featured story of the night. Woo! Yeah. Happy featured story of the night day, everybody. That makes no sense. So our featured story, which I want to get into very briefly because it's very technical and there's a lot going on with it. So right now in the UK, they're having a problem with property taxes. And you're like, what's that matter with film? Well, the big thing is they're called I'm going to make sure I get this right. The Valuation Office Agency actually assess the property taxes for different, properties in the UK. And they said that they've been not paying enough on these properties where they had sound stages like Pinewood Studios. So they're trying to increase things by about 3 to 4%, their taxes. So these studios are going to have a huge increase in how much they're paying every year for their taxes. And they call us their rateable values. They call it the rateable values. It's an assessment of the amount of property would rent for if it were available to an open market. So they went ahead and they've been going through, and this VOA said there are 3 factors why they're raising everybody's property taxes. They will not say what they are. And all the studios are going fucking nuts about it because the UK is a huge booming business for film. It's getting bigger and bigger. I mean, Marvel has their own contract with them at Pinewood, hence why Ant-Man initially shot most of their production there. And then to reshoots in LA, it happens with all their big products. You go, why they go to the UK? Because they have a contract. Well, now these studios are going to be paying 3 to 4 times more a year. Now, how much more is that? How much are they paying? So you put it in perspective. Right now, Pinewood Studios, they're paying about $3.9 million a year. It's going to jump to $16.2 million with this. Huge difference. Warner Brothers right now, they said they're going to quadruple what Warner Brothers, their European or their United Kingdom studio is going to pay $25.3 million a year now in taxes. That's insane for them. And what they're saying they're going to have to do is they're going to pawn that fee off on the producers. They're going to pawn it off on the people coming in. So now they're going to raise the money for them and how much it costs to actually spend to shoot in the UK, which is what going to happen? Everyone's going to leave the UK. Now, if it costs so much, they're not going to shoot there. They'll stay in the States. They'll go to Georgia. They'll go to Vancouver. Maybe they'll stay here in LA. Please stay here in LA. So this is a huge problem for the UK. I mean, you think about it, that's a lot of money going out of their pockets. Now, I bring this up because we talk about jobs. So jobs, for us, it could increase jobs here in LA, like I said, Chicago, New York, Georgia. It might actually help the working actor in the United States, which could be a good thing for us, horrible thing for the UK, because they've been surging for years, making more and more money every year. And it's because of these big contracts they get. So for me, I'm like, raise those taxes. Come on, raise those taxes. Let's do it right now. But for them, they're fighting it. They're trying to audit them, the VOA. They'd be like, no, come in here and like, we got to reassess our property value. So they're trying to fight it tooth and nail. They are. That's what they came out today. They were saying this story broke like last week, but I've been waiting to talk about it. And the update came today where they said they were actually challenging the VOA over this and questioning them. And that's when the VOA said, hey, we don't want to tell you, but there's 3 things. We'll tell you eventually what those 3 things are, why we're saying this property should be charged more for taxes. So for me, though, I'm like, let it happen. That's how I feel about it. I go, it's a bad thing if you're a UK actor. And there's a lot of people like Jake. you have a whole database that shoots in the UK, right? So for that aspect, for your managing company, it's a problem because now there'll probably be less jobs there, or maybe they just will, won't be outsourcing the United States as much, maybe. So maybe some of your talent that are here that would normally fly to the UK won't be brought in because now if they're paying more money, they're going to try to local hire people because they want to save money. What do you think about this, Jake? Do you think this is a good thing or a bad thing for the film industry? I know it's a lot of information.
No, it's fine. It makes sense. I was trying to kind of make a comparison in my head what they're kind of doing. It's like renting a house to somebody for, like we're going to give you $1,200 a month for rent, right? Yeah. But because at the end of the year, your house could potentially be worth $1,600 a month, we're going to charge you an extra 7% on top of that just to cover our own butts. It's a speculation, and I don't like it when people charge people speculative money because there's no proof that it's worth that at all. But like you said, it's good for this market because it might drive some of that business back home
for us.
But a lot of actors, I think, in the European market, they're aware of the amount of work that's like Hollywood drives the whole thing, and a lot of them have their dual citizenship stuff. They have passports, and they go back and forth, and they pay a lot of money out of their own pockets to make the trips back and forth because they know they have to go where the opportunities are. But I don't have access to Spotlight, which is like the European.
That's what it's Spotlight. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it's called Spotlight. But my boss does, and she's on there once in a while. I don't know how often she's in there digging around. But it's going to be curious to see. I think it's just another thing that's part of the DW, the writers thing and the directors thing.
Oh yeah.
And this happening and all the different streaming platforms and where do we put our content? Who do we sell our content to? Who's going to pick it up? There's so much going on.
There's
not a lot happening. Yeah. So the dust needs to settle, and I'm not even going to give you a timeline, but I have a feeling it's going to be a minute, until everything falls into place.
I believe that 100%. I honestly, like you're saying, there's so many things that are happening right now that just affect everything. And people get scared. And again, like now, if we're not going to go to the UK, what do we do? Especially if they have cheaper deals before there. It's like, and they plan on taking productions there. Now they're holding them back because of that. They're also holding them back because of the potential writer's strike. We're also holding them back because of the potential DGA strike. There's a lot of factors in 2023 that could really fuck over the whole entertainment industry. And that has been a hard thing because we just came back eventually. It took so long, but we're finally back rocking and rolling. I feel like things are normal again for the most part. So now it's another curveball. Sabrina, you hear about this. Do you think this will be a good thing for actors in LA? And do you think this will actually affect the film industry overall with being less jobs, like less, jobs coming around?
I don't think it's going to affect the jobs because people are going to shoot. It's just a matter of where. If they're not shooting in the UK, they're going to shoot somewhere else. Netflix is building an insane, huge stage situation in New Jersey. Ryan Reynolds, as we were going to cover tonight, is building stages in Canada. I'm just saying, like these things.
We'll talk more about that tomorrow.
People things. Okay, I'm sorry. Did I just take the wind out of your sails?
Spoiler alert! No, you're good. He's on our image today,
It's in the news, rein it in.
He's on our image today. If you see our graphic, you see it.
That's why I brought it up. You're welcome. So, anyway, there are a lot of places where film is spreading out to, and there are a lot of places where it's still being very successful. Oh, thank you for that weird outside.
That's Pinewood Studios right there.
Yeah.
Oh, you're flying over.
Or
where's it at? Jersey?
That's in the UK.
UK.
Yeah, it's Pinewood.
My point is
pretty impressive.
That it just looks like a bunch of shit in the middle of a forest. If I'm being honest, I don't know, it's pretty impressive. It looks fucking weird.
Sabrina's not impressed.
No, I have great stages. Yay! I live in Los Angeles. There are stages fucking every which way you turn. From Burbank to Universal City to Hollywood to Culver City. They're literally everywhere. So I'm, not expressly impressed by stages since I live around all of them. My point is that people are going to shoot. So I don't think it's going to be less jobs for anyone anywhere. I think it'll be less jobs that are shooting in the UK, but that doesn't fucking matter. If they want a UK actor, they will just bring them to the US to shoot, as we've seen a million times. And if they want an American actor, they're going to bring you to the UK to shoot, as we've seen a million times. So I don't really think it's going to affect the actor too much. I think it's going to affect like the UK as a whole, like more, they're not going to get as much revenue, which is a huge thing because they have been getting so much film revenue. So I feel like it's more of like a governmental thing. And I think that they should reconsider what they're doing because I think they've been doing pretty good because of film. However, for the actor, for the DP, for the crew member, like I feel like the work is still going to be there. It just might not be exactly where you left it.
Yeah. I just, the producers probably will pay more too, Some of the producers maybe this VOA, maybe the VOA is saying that they haven't been charging enough. But I'm saying maybe it's been such a good deal, and that's why they've been going there because it's been such a great deal.
Yeah, but now you're like quadrupling it. That's a big fucking difference, dude.
I know.
Like, you would think somewhere else that's closer to home and not pay for hotels, pay for, you know what I mean? Like there's other
which is booming business for the UK. That's huge business for them.
And that boosts everywhere around you because now you have all these people there that are going to have to go grocery shopping or go to restaurants or go buy clothes. Like it boosts the economy as a whole everywhere around it because you're bringing a bunch of people there and putting them up. So like it really is going to be a hit for them. Like I feel like it's going to be a pretty big hit for them because it's a hot spot for filming right now. And I feel like it's only been trending upwards. Like more was going to happen. So I feel like if they were smart, they would probably reassess this quadruple raise. And I mean, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Me either.
If someone from here was doing that assessment, I'd be like, yeah, fuck yeah, raise them up because then we can bring it back. Like, but as someone from the UK doing the assessment in the UK, it just seems counterproductive to be doing what they're doing, honestly.
Yeah, you're like, what the hell are you doing?
It seems silly.
Because you are messing up a lot of businesses by doing this too. Yeah. Or, because the producers don't want to pay more money. End of the day, they're not going to want to pay more money. This passes, they're going to be like,
that's why strikes happen. They're going to be like, can we have 1% more of residuals? And they're like, no, fuck you. And they'll strike. Like, I mean, it's like, so they're not going to pay quadruple the amount to shoot in the UK. They'll just
not going to happen.
Vancouver or Atlanta.
Well, and
somewhere
at the end of the day, it hurts the person going to work for a paycheck.
100%, as it always does.
Which it always does. And that's the problem. Like, they can't just keep their $1 million hands in their own pockets for once, like, get out of here. But
give me more.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, I read an article about White Lotus today, and they shot in Italy, and they were like, basically they chose Italy because they had good tax incentives, and that was that. They go, like the first season they shot in Hawaii, that they want to shoot in Asia next season. But like the reason why they chose Italy, they wanted to go to Europe, and they chose Italy because it was the best tax incentive. So like that's something that producers look for. So if you're hiking it up, but no producer's going to be like, yeah, fuck yeah, let's pay 4 times as much to shoot somewhere that we can find the same exact fucking stages somewhere else. Like, it's not going to happen.
It's got the British rocks. I like those rocks. I want those rocks in my show.
Yeah. I need this one British rock. I love it very much. Fuck you.
But as an actor, though, I think it's very encouraging for us because, again, we've lost a lot of these productions to overseas, to other states. So it might actually bring back more work here. So it might be a good thing for the working actor.
Would you not love to be like, oh, yeah, a role that shoots in London? Fuck yeah, I'll see you on Tuesday. Yeah. And you get on a fucking plane and then you're in London shooting and hanging out and going to Flatiron Steak and like hanging out with Mia. Like, I'm just saying.
That place is epic.
It is epic. It's so good.
If you ever go to London,
shout
Flatiron
out to
Steak.
Flatiron.
It's right by the London Bridge and the Bay Bridge.
Oh, nice.
Right by the London Bridge.
Yeah. It's so good. It's so good. Not that we're doing product placement. We do it once in a while. We pitch places, But like I'm saying,
they're not paying us, but we'll let you know. That's a good fucking place to eat.
Yeah, it's so good. We loved it. We're there for like a couple days, and it was amazing. So if you ever go there, Flatiron, it's a place to be. But yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll see, Jake. We'll see, right? You'll have to keep us updated as things progress, too. We'll have to bring you back on about this because we'll see how this year develops. Honestly, May 1st is not that long away, and we'll know. We'll know in April. We'll know in April what's going to happen.
It's essentially 2 months away.
Yeah. I mean, it's almost March.
if you're into writing, if that's like one of your side passions and you like doing it and you're writing and even producing as an actor, just don't stop working is all I can say.
Wow.
You know, continue
Good
practicing,
advice.
keep doing whatever you can do that's within your field that keeps you sharp. Because when it comes back, it's going to come back with a vengeance, and you're going to want to be ready to take on that workload. So just keep sharp.
Yeah,
advice,
don't
Jake.
hold back. Don't give up your game. A lot of people do. A lot of people get lazy. You can't get lazy in this business, you know?
Or discouraged,
And you know what?
or like jaded. I mean, there's a lot of things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if work shuts down,
be ready.
Yeah, and if it shuts down, then take that opportunity to make moves, you know? Start preparing some stuff. Figure out when it comes back how to put yourself in the best scenario so you succeed. You know, that's what you want to do. So, I mean, honestly, it'll be fine at the end of the day. We'll get through this. If it does happen, we'll get through it. But honestly, I'm kind of the person that says it's going to happen. I think so. But you never know.
You mean the
You never know,
strike?
everybody. Yeah,
Oh, for sure.
I think it's going to happen.
Last time writers led in the negotiations, they struck. Like it's it's a thing. And they're the most ballsy. They're not afraid of striking. SAG is afraid of striking. DGA is afraid of striking. DGA has come out and said they're not even trying to go to the table first because the producers are not ready to address their demands. Like I feel like it's imminent. I feel like these are very, very small. Unless the producers are like, yes, absolutely, we'll give you what you want. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a strike.
Which will never happen. It never happens like that. It's always like, here's less. And we'll start there.
If they know they have them by the balls, they might. They might. But it's a very small chance.
Yeah.
Have them by the balls.
Y'all need to have SAG get organized and start holding them too.
You have a better chance at organizing every homeless person in Los Angeles to do something, Jake, honestly.
Really?
Like that is much more attainable than organizing SAG. They're a bunch of fucking half-wit dum-dums who don't fucking pay attention to their users, who fucking spam you with a bunch of fucking propaganda bullshit to get you to vote the way they want. There are so many people that I know that I'm friends with that vote with what SAG wants them to do because they don't do their research outside of SAG, and they get spammed with all this, this is going to be the best for you. You should do this. You should just make sure you do this vote. Yes, on this vote. And they do. Like they have a system that runs on what they fucking want and what makes them function the way they've been functioning, which is extremely unsuccessfully for a number of years. And it just perpetuates the same fucking shit over and over and over and over again. It's very unfortunate. And it's hard to wake everybody up, and people don't vote. A lot of people don't vote.
They don't vote.
So like, because they're like, I don't know, I'm not going to vote. And so like,
you're paying them, you might as well.
You might as well.
But there's like 30% of people vote out of like, so 70% of people don't vote. And that's how they wind up staying in power and doing dumb fucking shit and not having our backs because people don't bother to pay attention. And that's on us, but it's also on them.
So everybody get out and vote. If you're part of SAG, get out and vote. That's the only way things will change. And read up about everything and don't just follow those flyers, you know? And you'll be, and then we'll get into a better place. But as of now, we're stuck with what we have. Yeah. We'll get there.
Pay attention. Yeah.
We'll get there. But anyways, it's been a great show. Thank you, Jake, for being here. Appreciate you being here. It always goes by so fast.
I missed you. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know it's been a while.
I know we had that week
Thanks
off.
For having me back.
We've had so many glitches here, but it's working great tonight, everybody. It's back to normal. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we got it fixed. So I've been hassling the place. They're nice over there, but I think they're a little annoyed with me, but we'll see. I'm going to keep bugging them about little things. Sabrina, thank you for being here. Appreciate it as always. Everybody out there, thank you for watching Kruse Control. Please like and subscribe. Join our Patreon if you can. And tell your friends, tell your wife, tell your husband, tell your girlfriend, your boyfriend, tell your neighbor, tell your cousin, tell everybody you know. Watch Kruse Control. Come on, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. Everybody have a great rest of your Wednesday, your hump day, and we'll see you soon. See ya!